All right, we're going to do an 11 o'clock update for Hurricane Ida with a little bit of positive news, I think. So shout out there to Kyle Hansen, who is one of our local meteorologists that messaged me on Facebook and indicated that the wind field, he didn't expect to be as wide as Katrina. So that is really good news for us here on Dauphin Island. The 11 o'clock update has come out. It comes out at 10 Central, 11 Eastern. And there's a little bit of good news about a little bit of shear that might be keeping this storm from getting to that max category 4 or a category 5. So we'll see. Also too, when I do these videos, please remember I'm just someone that loves the weather. I had a mentor of mine in college, Dr. Bill Williams, when I graduated from South Alabama, that I took a lot of his classes. I always respected him as a weather guy, but we're tennis coaches and we do tennis videos, but I just have a passion for the weather. So hey, we're human beings, we can be wrong, but we live to fight another day, and anybody can be wrong about anything. So just keep that in mind. Thanks for watching, but let's check out this storm and see what she's doing. So currently I'm facing due east. In the distance there, if you can see that natural gas platform, that's the center of Mobile Bay. I'll try to zoom in on that for you a little bit to see that platform there. But that's the center of Mobile Bay. On the other side of that is Baldwin County. The other side of the Mobile Bay, and then it becomes Florida. Anyway, facing due east, a little bit of rain has begun to fall. I just wanted to put a mark on the tide and where it is in comparison to this bulkhead. The one I like to gauge is the one I'm standing on because it's in my yard. So I'm about 1.5 feet out of the water, and then my house is directly here. So if Kyle Hansen is correct and the wind field and the storm isn't as wide, it's good news here because the effects wouldn't be as bad as Katrina. The only thing that is worrisome either way is the storm surge. We can have mild tropical storms right here, and there's a lot of them on my video playlist. So if you want to see a lot of what I'm talking about, just look at other videos on this playlist. But I have had tropical depressions, tropical storms that have brought waist deep water underneath my house, and I have some videos waiting in it. So if it's a 2-4 foot storm surge, again, a 2-foot storm surge, I have water in the grass. 3-foot storm surge, it's all the way to the vehicles. 4 feet, it's across the road. So that's the one thing that I want to think about, think about real seriously, because that's the threatening part, at least for us here. All right, a quick look at the 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. Eastern time update from the National Hurricane Center. You see the width of this cone has started to really narrow. Again, it's because it's getting closer to landfall. Again, we're probably 24 hours from feeling the effects here in Dauphin Island. So you can see that the hurricane warnings have kind of begun to be concentrated from central Louisiana to the Louisiana Mississippi line, and then your tropical storm warnings in the blue stretch across the Mississippi Gulf Coast and into coastal Alabama. Again, it's not out of reality for these storms to wobble a little bit. So again, just like Katrina, again, I know it's not going to be as big as a wind field, but I use it as an example. Katrina came towards land. It was headed for the Mississippi Gulf Coast and wobbled to the west and made landfall in Louisiana. So a wobbling can occur. So don't tune this out because you see that little cone narrowing on one particular area. It's moving northwest at 16 miles per hour. And has a barometric pressure of 984 millibars, so that barometric pressure has started to drop, which means she is gaining some strength. There is some wind shear out here to the west of the storm, which is keeping it from turning into a time bomb, but nonetheless, the water below it is high-octane fuel for this storm. So some of the intensity models have kind of backed off a little bit, but it is still supposed to make landfall as a major hurricane. So a quick look at the current active radar loop. The thing that is really interesting to me is we are starting to see an eye wall forming. You can see the little eye wall right in this area go from not there to there. So she's gaining some strength. The shear I was talking about is off to the west side. It's not a lot of wind shear, but it is some, so that's a bit of good news. And it is, again, tracking to the northwest and looking to make landfall around central Louisiana. And this is a bad situation for New Orleans. If this track, now that it's really honing in on this spot, remains this way, New Orleans is going to be dealing with the really tough day. You can see that we already have some squalls that are popping up where I am, and that's what I was filming here earlier in some of these segments. I won't do too many outdoor shots right now because there's nothing bad. It's just some light rain and not really any wind at this point. But tomorrow, I think somewhere around 12 p.m. or noon or 2 o'clock, I think we'll be looking at landfall in Louisiana. And then I think we'll get the biggest impacts here earlier in that day up until about that point. And again, we're here in Dauphin Island in terms of storm surge. And then the tide, I think, goes out after 4 o'clock a.m. Monday morning. So I think we'll get the gist of our storm surge here on the island in the early morning hours of Monday morning. What am I going to forecast here on the island? Tropical storm force winds, 60, 70 mile an hour gusts maybe, and potentially even sustained if there is any type of wobble. We do have a storm surge threat of 2 to 4 feet in the bays and 4 to 7 feet down here on the coast, which if that's true and that holds true, then that would be a lot of water coming on to Dauphin Island. Let's look at a couple other things, and I'll tune this video out, but you can see here that she is definitely becoming more organized, and this storm covers the entire width of the Gulf of Mexico. So landfall in this area, you're going to have impacts well to the east of this storm. All right, a quick glance at the latest intensity models. Again, on the left, we have wind speed, and on the right side, we have time moving forward. And what we don't have is a lot of time moving forward because landfall will happen. So you can see all these drop really significantly, not too very far into the future, about 36 hours ahead. So the intensity is still a major hurricane. The gist of the models have the storm being a powerful Category 3 and only one now bringing it to a Category 4. Now, I did hear a recent report on the Weather Channel that this storm is expected to slow down a bit and broaden as it makes landfall. So maybe we have to check our math on my first segment on this, where I said there was a meteorologist that indicated it wasn't going to become a big wind field. I think they just said the opposite on the Weather Channel. Hey, we're all humans. We all come up with our own theories, and sometimes we're right and sometimes we're wrong. The people that are right look great, and the people that were wrong look stupid, but then it happens all over again. So good news for me is I'm just an amateur that has fun doing it, so not much to lose for me. Anyway, but this is what I'm talking about. The intensity has kind of been held back just a bit. But still a major hurricane. In other words, you don't need to stop your leaving town if you're within 50 miles of the right quadrant of that center, because it's still going to be something very, very, very impactful. And again, here on Dauphin Island, it can be a mild tropical storm, and we can really get thrashed around by it. So not a huge game changer, but something to look at and something to maybe breathe a little bit easier, but it's still going to be a rough go. Okay, here's a look at the latest GFS model run. Thanks Ryan Mason out there, my fellow weather tracker, along with Mike Etter in Mississippi. I know they're all paying very close attention to this. So this is just one of the runs, but I like to show these runs sometimes. Again, this is a prediction. This is just a computer, and it's throwing out there a response to information, input and to the system. So here you have it, again, just an estimate of landfall, but you can see the size of this storm. We are, again, right here in this area where that blue is. And right now on this track, you have a significant tropical storm here where I am and a major hurricane landfall in the New Orleans area. So the whole boot of Louisiana is in that danger zone, as well as coastal Mississippi. And again, just because that center of circulation doesn't come across here in Dauphin Island, it gets rough here. So to those, I know I put videos out, you can't please everybody, and some people, just totally knock you down, but it does get bad here, and you'll see that. But anyway, watch this storm for any type of wobble to the east or wobble to the west. So if you're, to the left of the predicted center of circulation in Louisiana, it could wobble a little bit to the west. It could wobble a little bit to the east. Nobody knows. So keep your eyes on it for sure. But this is just one of the models that shows that the width of the impacting zone definitely goes into Mobile County, Alabama. All right, the latest updated graphic from the National Hurricane Center in terms of storm surge. All right, We are right here off the coast of Alabama, Dauphin Island. You can see we're looking at 4 to 7 feet. The Mobile Bay, Baldwin County looking at 2 to 4 feet. New Orleans, Louisiana, and moving off to the east, you can see up to 7 to 11 feet, 10 to 15 feet. That's a big-time storm surge. Right now, the models are all in unison that the storm is going to be making a landfall in this area. About 50 miles outside of this area as the crow flies. That's going to be a very, very tough area to be in on all fronts. Storm surge, wind, everything. That's a very tough area to be in. I would definitely evacuate if possible. If you can get out safely, that is. Get to higher ground. Out here, I would say about in this kind of cut of southern Mobile County, South Mobile County, Dauphin Island, maybe even over there into Fort Morgan Gulf Shores. It's going to be a rough go. It's going to be, in my opinion, I know other people have said, no, it won't be. Again, I've lived in this spot for a lot of years, and I know what these storms can do. I don't need to have someone tell me that sitting behind a computer somewhere, oh, I'm dead wrong. And I'm not saying I'm right. I hope I'm wrong. Geez, we just had our house destroyed by Hurricane Sally with 5 children. I don't want to go through that again. Believe me, I just love the weather. But I can tell you that any type of storm, even a strong regular thunderstorm on just a summer day, can just give this little point that this house sits on, and a lot of us live on, a real butt whipping. And we are looking at a force of nature with a exponent of 10 moving in this direction. So anywhere in this area, Ryan Mason right here, and I'll change the color, Ryan Mason right here in central Mississippi, Mike Etter here in Moss Point. We're here. I have family in Hammond over in Louisiana, Baton Rouge. So this whole area is going to have an issue, and that's just the way it's going to be. Keep your eyes on this one. Anyone in this general area, there's going to be impacts. There's going to be impacts well inland as this storm moves on shore. And again, I keep hearing, and let me know in comments if this is true, I keep hearing from a lot of you that the Weather Channel just indicated a broadening wind field and a slower speed as it makes landfall. So I'll definitely get that involved on my next update for sure. But the storm surge here on the island, if it's 4 to 7 feet, and we get some of that during a high tide period, it's going to be a tough couple of weeks of cleanup for sure. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I always have a great time doing these videos. I'll do my next video this evening, giving Ida some time to kind of change a bit more, and that is going to happen. She is in that zone of rapid intensification. Again, we talked about it. She has a little shear, but that's not making Ida go away. Don't forget to subscribe. I'd be very grateful for that. And again, I'm just an amateur guy that loves the weather with 5 children. My oldest son's at the Air Force Academy in Colorado, but the other 4 are here. So believe me, I don't want damage. Believe me, I don't want my children hurt. I just enjoy the weather and love talking about it with all of you. And those of you that don't like the videos, that's okay. You can't please everyone, but be safe, all of you. And be kind, because everyone you meet is fighting a tough battle. I'll see you guys later. Tomorrow, once the squalls start pouring in, I just looked at a forecasted loop. It looks like some of the more intense bands that we will get here will come on shore around noon, but some outer bands start being felt here in my location around 8 a.m. But from what I gather, between noon tomorrow and 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon, excuse me, I said tomorrow, Monday, between tomorrow is Sunday. So between, say, noon on Monday until very early in the morning on, I got that backwards, sorry, see, I'm an idiot. From tomorrow afternoon until early in the morning on Monday. Sorry, brain fart. Anyway, but yeah, I think that's when the effects will start. When the effects start, I'll do updates as soon as I can get them out. So much intensity in the air here on this little point. It's just incredible to see. Anyway, I'll do videos as many as I can in the elements tomorrow. If we lose power, which I'm sure we will lose power, I'll do it all on my cell phone, so I'll kind of jumble them together and do as much as I can until either the power runs out and my phone dies, or I just can't stay here anymore. We'll see. I don't think that will happen, but I look forward to seeing how much water is going to be underneath the house. Take care, guys. See you later on.